algebra or the analysis of quaternions. So quaternions has its own analysis. Hello, my name is Azan. Today I wanted to go over you guys with some books. I know in the last two videos you guys were saying that you wanted me to do more math books videos. So that's where I will be doing today. But on the side note, I wanted to get a little bit serious today. For introducing myself and who I am. My name is Azan Porter. For those who don't know, who are new to my channel or haven't seen one of my videos before, I am a physics and math major. I'm studying at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and I study mainly to astrophysics, or my research right now is on quaternion analysis. That may change on so forth as I go into my field, but as of right now, that is what I'm studying. Um, my hair's a mess. Sorry. Another thing is that my car broke down. Sadly, it broke down, and the reason why it broke down was because of the transmission. Coming to find out, so it's no longer drivable. Um, but I am currently looking for a new car. I usually do not like asking, for money or anything or for people to help me out. One is because sometimes I like to be, independent, and two is just like, everyone has their own personal things with them as well. So I do appreciate if you guys are able to, for people who are looking at this video, if you are able to help me out. I have a GoFundMe page down in the link below. This is my first time doing GoFundMe. So, I'm a college student. If you're able to help out in any way, anything helps. 50 cents a dollar, I don't care. Like, anything helps. And I really don't like asking people for money, but in this case, I am looking for, some some gratitude or some money, to help me pay for an upcoming new car. Today though, mostly what I want to go over is the book that I got in the mail today, that I finally got in the mail from over a month, for what I needed to have. I needed to have this book desperately. And it's a linear algebra book, and most mathematicians are familiar with this book and the author as well. This book is called Linear Algebra Done Right by Sheldon Axler. And if you're not familiar with this book is amazing. This book comes from really the understanding after you have like a base level of linear algebra and some proof level knowledge, right? This book is it's an undergraduate book, but I would say it's, like I said, it's an advanced linear algebra book. So it's usually after you taking your very first linear algebra course. Like, you will be stuck on, you'll stop at like usually around vector spaces and stuff like that. And this is where it picks back up on. So it picks up back up on of where you stopped at. Again, this is a very proof heavy book too as well, so you do need some level of proof knowledge for it. So let's get into it. With this book, Sheldon Axler is a great author. I will show you the other book as well, that also has Sheldon Axler in it as the editor, and I didn't know, and that's more towards my research. But this book I needed. And I actually now own this, but I own it. I own it. I got it from Amazon. And this is my very first. I would say this is my very first. Really owning my very first time owning a Springer book. Springer books can be expensive. They can range from, I think the starting value usually around like probably like $20 to like $100 so dollars depending on the book. But Springer books are usually expensive. Usually, even if you do get it used, sometimes it's hard to get it used. They're around the same price as if you were to get it new. So the whole point for like even having trying to get it used is like pointless at that point. It's not like Dover books, which I do own because they are cheap books. But yeah, I also wanted to expand a little bit more on my past videos. If you have watched them, I did really well in the complex analysis course. I think I got like a high B or low A from what I remember. I did really well. I enjoyed that course. I Complex analysis was my favorite, and yeah, I just wanted to explain because I know some of you guys were a bit worried on like, oh, like you may not be, complex analysis may be a little bit difficult, but I did end up doing well and enjoyed the course. And right now I'm doing research with the same professor who offered that graduate level complex analysis course. But yeah, I wanted to say it was fun. But anyway, let's get to this. This is Linear Algebra Done Right by Sheldon Axler. Let's get to the insides of the book. So first, what you have is this. You have the table of contents. You start off with start off here, as you can see, with vector spaces. You learn about Rn and Cn, right? That basically is saying the fields of the reals and the fields of the complex, right? And then you go on with Fn, right? Which is, in this case, just indicating a field. In this book, they focus on 4 types of fields. So they focus on the finite field of 0 and 1. Right, they focus on the field of the rationals. Right, rationals is a field. They focus on R, that is a field, and they focus on C, that is a field. So that's the complex numbers. So those are the 4 fields that they work on in this book, that they mostly focus on in this book. If you're interested in field theory, this is kind of like a base level knowledge or like base level understanding for field theory. So this is like a good book to like understand, like, okay, how does field theory work with vectors and so forth and like proofs and stuff. So this is really, really good class that you can take before you take field theory, right? Linear algebra leads on to, abstract algebra, right? And especially when this is an advanced algebra course. So this is usually after you have like a proof level knowledge, like real analysis or some introduction to proof class, and then you have like that matrix, linear algebra matrix stuff that you mostly are dealing with just matrices and like solving a matrix, saying if something is linear, independent, or dependent, stuff like that. The linear algebra that you need to know, just for solving a matrix, basically. And here you get to understand, my favorite subject. You get to understand what is a complex number. I just love the way this book is formatted too. It has the colors with it. It's very well formatted, like a textbook. It technically it's a textbook, basically. It's in the textbook form. And with these type of books, I like how it makes it feel like it's, less rigorous and it's easy to understand. Thing I like about Sheldon Axler too, he makes a playlist for this book. So as you're reading the book, you can look at the playlist that he has, and it shows you just like you can read it while you're looking at the playlist, and it really can help you understand like the subject of linear algebra, right, as you go on, if you're taking a course or if you're just independently studying it yourself, right? Yeah, so here also, they also have exercises to the book. So like here is like the first couple of exercises. I will also post, let me see, I think you guys can see that. But yeah, they have like some exercises. My camera is a bit, I think, blurry right now from what you can see. But here are some exercises here, and I believe he has answers online from what I just got this book. But I'm not unfamiliar with it. The reason being is because I had the online copy. But, looks like I got like a grease stain on it already. Is that? That could have been like a printing problem. Oh well. It's just one page here. But anyway, this is a brand new book, by the way. So usually I get the used books, but I was like, I want to get the new brand new book. This is and this is my first Springer book, so I was like, hey, let's go with it. Yeah. But they're cool. They talk about real and complex vector spaces here. Yeah, talk about subspaces. Basically, you do learn this stuff, and you learn about vector spaces and subspaces, and the previous linear algebra class. But in this class you learn, okay, what really is a vector space, what really is a subspace, and how can we apply that to any field, any vector space, or anything like that, right? So you really understand what those you really understand what that really is, right? So, and he has like, what I like about this is like he tries to be funny. So like this page is like obviously 20. This is 22, right? So like if you look at here, 23. He puts like 7 pi. So he has like a little bit of like some commentary in there, which is very funny. He recognizes the guy here, which is Paul Hamos. If you look at his playlist, he explains like who he is, and his modern linear algebra book. And yeah, this book is amazing. The answer sheets, I believe, are online. There's someone who posted an answer sheet online. If you can look at it, I don't know if he has them in this book. From what I remember, I always would just go through the problems and see if I was correct. I would just look online, basically see if I was correct. Some authors, they don't like to post the answers to their questions. So yeah, you have that. I think Sheldon actually did post the answers to it, or somebody else did it with this type of book. So yeah, that's linear algebra done right. Let me know if you want me to do a problem. I can do it in a separate video. Right now I'm not in the setup today really to do a problem, but I can do a couple of problems, like if you guys just let me know in the comments below. Also, I believe too, if I look here, and I just got this in the mail today, so it's already small. And then let me just take. You always gotta take a whiff, a little whiff of your textbook. So let me just. Oh, okay. So that's a new book smell there. Let me just take another. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah. So the pages are smelling new, brand new pages. Oh yeah. And you just have to claim it as yours, So if you're not sniffing your books, what are you doing? What are you doing? Exactly. Come on now. Yeah. But that's linear algebra done right, guys. You have, the editor here, so forth, and whatever. Yeah. This book is very interesting. I was never really, I would say here, really was never a fan of linear algebra when I went in my previous linear algebra course. I wasn't a big fan of the professor. He was mid. He was okay with explaining the topics, but he wasn't the best at explaining. But the professor who I do have right now for the advanced linear algebra course that I'm in is, he's a pretty good professor for it. So I have no complaints about him. He's really good. He's understanding, and he's very compassionate about the course. So yeah. And I love how they give the little keys, examples. There's a lot of examples in the book. Yeah, and he gives a lot of proof-based knowledge and stuff like that. So if you don't have, I guess it's good to have a proof-based. In this book, it's very proof-heavy. So if you don't have a proof-based basis in this textbook, you won't really, I would say you won't really understand it, but you will understand if you have a linear algebra background. You do need a linear algebra background. So this book is an introduction to advanced linear algebra, right? Or I would say it can be an intro to leading up to, abstract algebra, like an intro to abstract algebra too as well. But this is mostly an advanced linear algebra book, and it's an undergraduate book too. So you'll definitely get to learn this in your undergraduate text. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one, right, is a graduate book. It's a very thick one. This one is Quaternion Algebras. I do not own this book. I will own this book. I plan on getting it. I just, have to work with my budget as of right now, as you know, as I said earlier in the video. But I got this one from the library. I really don't like, exploding books that I don't really own, right? But this one I definitely am going to own because I love it. And the thing about it, it's a very, very tough read. This one is more rigorous. But what I like about this book, one, this is for my research. My research is just dealing with quaternions, right? And the thing about quaternions, they are a four-dimensional number. It's a four-dimensional number. And what you can do is, with quaternions, you can determine the spin of some subatomic particle. That's what you use it for in quantum physics. You also use it for graphics to spin a certain object, and you use it for a lot of things such as that. So with quaternion algebras, right? Quaternion algebras just explains the algebra or the analysis of quaternions. So quaternions has its own analysis, just like complex numbers have their own analysis. And you'll learn basically like the base level of complex numbers, and you'll learn the analysis of complex analysis, which is the devil, basically, which is literally the hardcore analysis and proof heavy book. And so imagine quaternion analysis, right? And the thing about quaternion analysis is, or algebras in this case, is that a lot of this is abstract. And the reason why quaternions is abstract is because, one, the thing that drops off is, for example, what drops off? Commutativity. So commutativity drops off on the quaternions, right? So that means, when you're multiplying I times j, right, it doesn't equal j times I, for example. So I times j does not equal j times I. They are actually anti-commute, which means that you have a negative sign. So I times j equals negative j times I, for example. Or in this case, it would be I times j is equal to k, but j times I equals negative k, right? Yeah, but that's literally what quaternion algebras are. This is by the author of John Vout. I think it's Vout or Vogt. Please correct me on that in the comments below. But I don't know if I'm saying. I don't know if I was saying it right. But if you look here at the editor, you can see that Sheldon Axer was actually the editor for the book, and which is very funny, right? And I was really happy with that, was because Sheldon Axer, it's not set up in a way, for you to read, a book that's gonna be, understandable. Again, this is a graduate textbook, so this is very, very, very hard to understand with most. And with this book, you need a little bit more of proof knowledge. You need some abstract algebra knowledge about groups, about fields, about rings. You need some knowledge of algebra. Basically, you need to have some. You need to have taken a couple algebra courses and some number theory courses. This book talks about a lot and is very algebra heavy. Let me actually see if I can show you guys the contents. So here's the table of contents. First, what they do is they give you an introduction on what the quaternions are is the Hamiltonian quaternions. I'm gonna just sum up, really quick. The Hamiltonian quaternions was created by Hamilton, not Alexander Hamilton, right? But it was created by William Rowan Hamilton, and Hamilton, he was trying to figure out a way to rotate objects in 3D and figure out what formula can I use, what vectors can I use in complex numbers to enable to do that. And he tried his hardest and to figure out, but then and his son will always like tell him, or in this case ask him, his son will ask him like, hey, were you able to figure it out? And Hamilton would be like, no, I wasn't able to figure it out. So one day, Hamilton goes under a bridge and he thinks, and he was like, oh, I got it. I need to add another vector, basically. So I need to have 4 dimensions and able to rotate an object in 3D. I need to have a 4th dimension instead of just 3-dimensional vectors. And that's where we get the Hamiltonian quaternions from. And the Hamiltonian quaternions symbol, it has a symbol of H. Recognizing his name as Hamiltonian quaternions in his honor. And then you have the real, the imaginary, and the imaginary numbers, just like complex numbers. So you have reals, you have the I, J, and K of the reals. And with this, H is the ring of Hamiltonian quaternions in his honor. So with quaternions, you have I squared equal to J squared equal to K squared, which is I times J times K, which is equal to -1. Same thing with complex analysis, where I squared is equal to -1. So you have those similarities there. But, you just have to go by those rules where, it's anti-commute. In this case, too, it says if you go to the Broom Bridge plot, it shows where he carved on the wall his ideas. So you have that. And here just shows an introduction, a little bit about it. This establishes right here is the algebraic laws, basically, of it. And just shows you basically the rules of which and properties that you have to have for quaternions. And after Hamilton, he got his recognition for the quaternions. He sends it to his colleague, and his colleague goes, "Hey, I can actually do better. I can make the octonions." And then after that, we got to the Sidonions, and after the Sidonions, we got the triangulons. Which is a 32-dimensional number. So the octonions is an 8-dimensional. Then you get to the Sidonians, which is 16-dimensional, and then you get to the triangulons, which is a 32-dimensional. Then you can go on and on and on. But as you go up and up and up, it's really, really, really abstract, and you have to use matrices, and it just goes to the point where it's like no use, and basically using those. And those are study that's called hyper complex analysis, where it goes with not just focusing on complex numbers, but also focusing on the values of complex analysis leading up to upper levels of algebra, basically, and upper levels of dimensions. So what I work on, I'm doing hyper complex analysis, but I'm working on the ring, per se, not field, but ring of the quaternions. So with this case too, it just gives us some modular, it has some exercises, and the answers are absolutely nowhere. I tried looking. If you guys can maybe help me out and scavenge for them, I wasn't able to find them. I don't even think the author was able to put out some answers. I even tried contacting Springer. They was like, yeah, we have no idea where they are. But if you guys are able to find them, I would love to have the answers to them. One, to check my work, and two, to like see like how these things go out. So the second chapter goes to the beginnings, right? They say it's the beginnings. So after chapter one, they explain like the introduction and the history of quaternions. They start going on what the quaternions is and like how you can apply that through algebra and group theory. They talk about what a quaternion algebra is, and you have I'm just showing you some pages. I'm sorry that the camera is a bit blurry, and they show you like how to solve some of the problems that lead up later on into the book. They show you the matrix representation, and then if I show you too the table of contents, I show here that you have these table of contents here. You have characteristics of fields. You have what is that? Simple algebras. You have simple algebras and involution. So they even separate the chapter there. They have orders. One thing of two with quaternions is that the order drops. So basically, you can't say like, I don't know, 1 plus 8i plus 7j plus 3k is greater than 2, right? So the order doesn't really make sense. And same thing for complex analysis, complex numbers. Order drops. So I don't know if that's the same order of what they're talking about, but from like, I know from a fact from like order as in trying to rearrange numbers and say like, 3 is less than 5, right? Like you can say that for the reals and, numbers below that, the dimensions below that, where you have natural numbers and, I wouldn't say dimensions or, number systems below that. So reals, you have like, you can tell that pi is greater than 3, right? We know that pi is greater than 3. It's 3.14, right? You can tell that, you can say that -3 is greater than, negative 100, right? You know that. So let me see if order 155, let me actually see if that's what they're talking about when they mean order. Well, okay, so here they say, we begin with a brief indication of the theory of orders over the integers, right? So let B be a finite dimensional rational algebra, so Q algebra. And order, where is the set of O is a subset of B, is a lattice that is also a subring of B, in particular, 1 is in O. The property of being in order is a local property for the lattice, i.e., 1 may check that it is closed under multiplication in every localization of O sub P, for P is prime. An order is a maximum if it is not properly contained in another order. For example, if we start with the quaternion algebra, where B is in the arrangement, I would say if AB divided by the rational, with A and B and the integers non-zero, then the lattice of O, where you have the quaternions here, we have that. Basically, it goes under the multiplication, and so it defines an order, but it's never maximum order. Again, I don't know what they were saying there. But for people who are more into algebra, or have like an interest in algebra, this is a really good book. I'm just using this as really a supplement to this book because, one, this is a graduate textbook. Two, it's not really an introduction. It's more as a very heavy analysis and heavy algebra textbook. So it's more for people who just want to know the advantages of how quaternions interact with algebra. If you do want a easier read on quaternions, if you're interested in just like learning about the quaternions, I would say this book is better. So you have naive Lie theory, and the thing about quaternions, it follows a lot with Lie theory. Um, and if you look at it literally goes on with quaternions. So it talks about quaternions, and the book is a little bit easier to read. Let me see. Let's look at it. If I actually flip to here, and it's an undergraduate textbook, so it's easier, right? So you have this. This is the table of contents. It talks about groups. Talks about what is that? Generalization of rotational groups, geometry of complex numbers, and quaternions. And this book talks a lot with quaternions, so it kind of leads you on the book. So I would say this book would be good for like an introduction to this book, right? So I would say read this book first and then go to this book. So if you want to learn up to the quaternions, which is kind of what I'm doing, I'm kind of taking this book and saying, okay, I need to know more about this. This is like a good introduction to quaternions and understand like the, baby level algebra and baby level theory that leads on to quaternions with this. You can also get like some other books on quaternions that are lesser, that are less, what's it called it, rigorous, and very, very less rigorous than even this one. That just doesn't even deals with groups. That just deals with the algebra and maybe like some three-dimensional baby like linear algebra knowledge, basically. So there's like one that's like for engineers. That's a very like easy read to learn if you just want to learn like just want to look at it and be like, oh, okay, that's how a quaternion works, and let me just do like some some normal I should say that some easier mathematics, easier level mathematics than dealing with like group theory and Lie theory. I know like for some people that may be kind of discouraging to other people. So definitely my professor recommended this to me, but this again I did not buy. This is from the library, just like this one is, quaternion algebra is. So I do plan on getting both of those books. Again, the only book that I did buy was the Linear Algebra Done Right by Sheldon Axler. So otherwise these books really are just books I use for my research. I do need these ones kind of desperately because I'm reading. I mean, I have them in my hand. I'm using them. I have them to like December 1st or whatever. I think that's the date for the library. But I'm just glad that I'm able to have this. And the thing that I'm kind of a little bit upset about. Sorry, don't have words today. So the thing that was bothering me about this book, when I was getting this book, that I noticed that Sheldon Axler is going to release a brand new edition. So this is the third edition. I believe this one came out in 20. When did this one come out? Oh, and this one was typed in LaTeX too, so that's something good to know. And LaTeX is really, usually the format that you read now. So this one was like published in 2015. Yeah. So this one was published in 2015. Or got a copyrights around 2015. So this one was, around the 2013-15 range from what I remember looking up. And he's going to post one later on this year. I believe it's the end of November. He's posting a 4th edition. So that's very exciting. If you guys want to wait for, the textbook, that's fine. I kind of was like upset with that because I was like, ugh, like, no, like, why did I get the book? If there's another one coming out, but again, the 4th edition is probably going to be more expensive than this one. I think I saw it for like $60, and as of right now, or even maybe later I would probably have like some money worked up. But I kind of want to keep when I'm buying books and the certain price range, and I don't want to spend too much money on those books. But if it's something that's very important, I will spend the right amount to get. But anyways, those are the math books done for today. If you want to learn, want to go and indulge more in the problems, just put a link down below. I can set up some problems and do them. Also, I would like to say to check out my music. I also do music. I do ranges of genres such as R&B, hip hop, alternative, and EDM. Right now, I'm more focusing on the EDM side. So go ahead and check that out. I'll put that in the link below. And I'll appreciate you guys for checking out my video. And let me know if you want to do more videos with this. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a blessed day and stay safe out there. If you guys are in school, good luck for this year, this semester. If it's your last semester in college or grad school or whatever, you're almost done this semester. So I hope you guys are able to enjoy that. All right, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.